Hello, it is Saturday. So all the birthdays that I should be doing this week, I'm going to do next week along with all the other birthdays that I should be doing next week. But the only one that I do want to mention, and it's not a real birthday, but it's a boyfday, is Emery. I'm sure you all know who Emery is. It was his 1 year on T, and he made an absolutely phenomenal 1 year on T video on his personal channel. And I'm going to, prance around in a jockstrap for him next video because I know he likes that. But this time I just want to mention that he has this amazing video that anyone who wants to feel the journey of a trans person should probably watch it. So I'm going to put a link to his video. Anyway, this week's topic is religion. So religion is this hugely controversial topic and very personal topic, and with our channel doing this topic, we're running the risk of saying something wrong, and in order to avoid doing that, I'm going to try and stay far, far away from my opinion on religion and just stick to my experience with religion. So this is essentially going to be like Val's story time, so here we go. As far as my dad's side of the family, my dad himself was incredibly non-religious. My mom, on the other hand, that whole side of the family, including her, they were very religious, but they were the kind of Christian that, it's all about love and acceptance. You're made in God's image. So there was never a support issue. I never felt hated upon by any of my family members, not on my dad's side, not on my mom's side, for being who I am. But as far as the religious presence in my life, there wasn't much of one. I wasn't supposed to be baptized, but a lot of you probably know that my mom did pass away a couple years ago, and at her funeral, we went to the church that I used to go to as a little kid, and that is when the pastor told my dad, in tears, he was so emotional about this, saying how beautiful this was, that my grandma took me in secrecy to the church and had me baptized, and no one throughout my mom's entire life and my entire life up until that point knew that I was baptized. So I'm a holy baby. That's what it means, right? I don't know what being baptized means, but now I know that I am, as opposed to before, in which case I thought that I was just, living with the devil inside me. But that gives you kind of an idea about how unstructured my religious life was. My mom was very passionate about her faith, but it wasn't a big deal day to day. There was no church, there was no structured religion. But the thing is, whenever she talked about her spirituality, it would always be, she didn't believe in labels, Catholic, Christian, whatever. It was all about her personal relationship with the higher power. And growing up with that mindset, it was always some guy you talk to in the sky and we're friends, and it's not this whole thing where there's a bajillion people in a church and all like, oh my god, Jesus. It wasn't someone to be afraid of, it wasn't someone that was necessarily superior, really. It was just, something to talk to or talk at. And it's funny, when I was in daycare, really young, I heard my daycare teacher on the phone with her friend, and it was during nap time, so we were all supposed to be asleep, but of course I wasn't asleep. And she was like, the worst thing you could do is doubt God. That's just the worst thing you could ever do. And from that point forward, I thought, if I really wanted to piss off God or make him really feel terrible about himself, I would just say, I doubt you. And one time I was playing video games, Nintendo 64, and there was this thing, I don't even remember what it was, but it was so frustrating, and I couldn't beat it. And I just tried so many times, and it wasn't working. And I just looked up and I was like, God, I doubt you. And for years, my personal relationship with God was very bad. We were not friends because he really fucked me over with that video game. Until I was probably about 8 years old, 9 years old, I had neighbors, and their mom was out of nowhere diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. She was expected to only live a couple more months and to die around Christmas. And she had 2 kids around my age and my brother's age. They were also very young. And there was this big trunk full of Christmas decorations, and I stood on top of the trunk, and I gave this half an hour long speech to no one. I was talking to God, and there was no one in my house, and I was just talking, I know that I've doubted you, and I've said some really mean things to you, I'm really sorry, and I don't pray ever, I've never asked for anything, and I promise I will never not believe in you. If you just one thing, just make it so she doesn't have cancer anymore. It was crazy, because this was stage 4 cancer, it was everywhere in her body, and she was gonna die. And then a couple months went by, and as time went on, she would go to the doctors and they'd just be like, I have no idea what's happening, it's just going away, there's just, it's leaving your body, and then eventually they're it's gone, it's literally not there anymore. And I was just as a little kid, I was just what the fuck? And so it was a big deal to me, and I couldn't break my promise, so I was okay, from this point forward, I will never not believe in God. As time went on, sometimes I would get mad again, I'd be like, oh, fuck you, God, I believe in Satan. I've never read the Bible, and I would just make up facts about, what religion was, and, what was good and what was bad. Satan and God, I in my head, it was just, they were just, 2 bickering siblings, and that I could just pick a side and piss the other one off. But, fast forward to, now, I still haven't broken my promise. I don't not believe, but I don't necessarily believe in one. I don't believe in one dude up there ruling everything. In fact, when I was a kid, my mom thought it was so funny, I was convinced that God was a woman because I just pictured angels, and I was like, dude, totally a woman. There's a lot that I can say that I do not believe in. I must say that I believe that there are some things that happen in the world that cannot be explained by any branch of science. And I believe that there is comfort in being able to believe that there is forces that exist that are outside of what people can study. There's so many different religions. Obviously somebody's wrong about something, but the thing is, I know that I don't know what is right and what is wrong as far as like the facts about religion and higher powers and stuff. I like to keep religion as far away from my social life as possible. I don't like to talk about it with people. I don't like to talk about mine with people. But it's important to remember that no matter what religion someone is from, that doesn't make it so you know how they're going to act or how they're going to feel about certain things. People really do have personal relationships with their faith, or something that you think would reject whatever, like reject trans people, reject gay people, reject a different religion. The fact is, people deal with their religion in their own ways, and they could be completely accepting of something that you would not think that their religion would be accepting of. One of the most religious people that I know, like, she knew the entire Bible by memory. She wanted me to come to church with her once, and I went with her. The pastor dude at that church encouraged the people at the church to go to churches of other faiths and see what else was out there and what they most closely identified with and what made them feel comfortable in terms of spirituality, and I think that is very cool. I'm getting really long-winded. You people who are watching probably know more about my religious life than I've probably told anyone, because, like I said, I just like to keep it out of my conversations. I got it from my mom. It's just a very personal thing. It's just personal. See you next Saturday.